Yeah, with holotropic breath work, there is it's kind of like a standalone modality that was developed by Stanislav Grof and his partner as a replacement, I guess, for psychedelics when their research was shut down many years ago. And so that is kind of a method that's intended to use instead of psychedelics. Although I could imagine people might use a very small amount of psychedelics alongside holotropic breathwork. But that is still fundamentally an experience where you do a deep dive within yourself, right? And you go in completely, and then you come out, and then you talk to someone. But there is a kind of different type of experience, which is one where you remain relational throughout the whole experience, right? So you might take 1 gram of mushrooms, or a 2 gram of mushrooms, or even a half gram of mushrooms, and you sit there with a therapist, and you do exactly the kind of work that you might normally do, that you've described, say, with your Jungian therapist. You might do internal family systems work, you might do different kinds of somatic processing work. Mushrooms is okay for a kind of relational work. Ketamine at low doses can be good for relational work, and same with MDMA. MDMA is particularly good for relational work. So there's that. There's this whole other branch of psychedelic work, which is a subset of psychedelic assisted therapy, where a person takes a relational dose and they can actually do the work mid-session. And it's kind of like, it's almost like they're live integrating as they're going, rather than having that deep end experience that they then have to kind of put the pieces back together afterwards. So that's something that I'm really interested in. And, what I'm kind of discovering is that in terms of somatics, the skill set that a therapist needs to work with somebody during a relational dose is more or less a very similar skill set as what they need to do good preparation and good quality integration work. It's that kind of deeper somatic skill set, right brain psychotherapy, that sort of capacity to hold space and be with somebody so that they can feel felt, and provide, reparative relational experiences that support their sort of growth. So, I think there's a kind of a seamless skill set that exists for all of those domains that I'm trying to kind of define in the literature by interviewing therapists who are trained somatically and trained with psychedelics, and asking them, okay, what are you noticing? And so, aptitude with boundaries, really skillful use of touch, that capacity to drop in themselves and do that work on themselves so that they can then support another person dropping in and noticing what is happening in this intersubjective field between therapist and client, so they can kind of maybe reprogram or do some repair work if there's been relational damage in their history. And so that's I'm kind of trying to develop a set of heuristics for therapists who are interested in psychedelic work, for the somatic aspect of that skill set. Okay, so what do you need? Because there's whole modalities out there like Hakomi or sensory motor psychotherapy or somatic experiencing that are like 3-4 year programs to learn how to be a somatic psychotherapist. But I don't really think that you kind of need that full-fledged training to be able to work with psychedelics effectively. I mean, it'd be great if you did it, how amazing. But I think that it could be condensed and filtered into which parts of that work are useful for psychedelics. And that's essentially my PhD, is to come up with that set.